update. It's been a little while since I've been here, hurt myself, and today's the first day I felt alright to come down to the garage and maybe play around with some stuff. Plus, I also had a lot of work to do on my daily driver, my 2500 HD, to do like exhaust hoods and stuff like that. But today I started playing around, and I want to make a door panel for the driver's side, because I don't have one. That's what it looks like. So it's just a piece of sheet metal. I don't have a bead roller or anything like that, so I'm just gonna... This sheet I measured it, and it's actually gonna work perfect because it's a 1/4 inch longer where this hole is than it needs to be. I started cutting some of this out. I'm gonna make a patch panel for that when I'm welding. Just like from the headliner and everything like that, there's a bunch of like wood trim and stuff around the door, and it was all gross and moldy. So I took it all out, made a mess, threw it in the garbage. This is some of the stuff from the firewall that had a lot of mold behind it. I'll go on the other side of the truck and show you. So I'm also working to try and get heat in the truck. So pull this heater core out, and I'm not gonna even attempt to use this one, but I thought it'd be cool to play with the fan, and it actually does turn on. So that's pretty awesome. And this might work and might blow some air through it, but I'm gonna actually get the Summit hot rod kit or whatever it is, and just basically has relays and wires in it. You just gotta add power. You would just add your hoses off the motor. So I was cleaning that up. You could just see where some of the mold was on there. And then I gotta make a patch panel for this vent. Don't want nothing blowing in. It's probably gonna be pretty gross shit that comes through there anyways. So I'm just gonna clean up some of this rust, paint it. I'd like to get some of that, they have like a liners or like the heat mats and stuff that stick on, or like the lizard skin spray and stuff. And then I want to do like the floors in truck bed liner, or maybe I'll find carpet from like old scrap vehicle. Well, I'm gonna come through and I think I'm gonna paint these white again because they're too far rusty. I just wanted to clean it up a little bit. Cleaned up here. I'm gonna paint these just to get rid of some of the rust on the inside of the cab, and there was rubber here, so I'd like to have a clean surface, like stick new like rubber there. Okay, so I made a door panel. Now it's a patch panel I cut out of it because it worked great. Mounted it all these holes and everything here, and then I went looking for the armrest, which I don't have, one of these, and I happened to find the damn door panel. It was sitting in the bed of my service truck, and it was back there, and I just threw it on. I wasted a lot of time doing that. It pissed me off. But I added a piece of flat stock to this sill here. I still gotta come back and clean it up a little bit, but I could put my full weight on there before I was just jumping on it. But I was using it as a step, and I jacked it up with the jack, and then I just welded that flat stock in there. Cut a patch out there. It's gonna go in here. And then I'm going to cut this little corner out here because it sticks out further. And then I'm just going to cut this out to here, and then run another flat panel so around this bend, and I'll bend it. This penny inside the ashtray, and it's the wheat cent. What I'm thinking is I'm going to clean up the face of it a little bit. And then, since it's been in this truck for a long time, might as well not leave it. Just glue it there. Pull this mirror out, and then I'll have to weld a bracket from here to here just to keep this tab from flopping, because you can see it still stays shaking. And then I want to fix this rust. You can see this is a hole all in here, and now you can see it better. So I'm gonna cut some of that out and make a patch there. And I'm also gonna clean up the inside when I cut some of this out, and then run some like seam sealer on the inside edge, because you can see daylight there. Some overdue updates. I'm not sure where I left off. Some of the footage I did shoot was pretty unusable. But first thing you notice, I got these little peep mirrors on the truck. And they really are just peep mirrors, just a quick glance and still hope that there's nothing there. You can't really see shit out of them, but they're there. And if you tilt your head back and forth a couple times, you could figure out if something's there, I guess. I have to clean that up. This is really rusty and welling like shit, but I showed you on the other side there's a hole there. For like, it had like a door check, I guess, for like a light. And filled the hole in there. There's a patch here I just put in. That patch, and just tacked it in. I'm going to seam seal the rest. Interesting story. This vent was open. I took the truck for a test drive, and a bunch of moss and shit came out because the vent was open. I took it and threw it out with that insulation. And not only did moss and shit come in, but a full snake skin in multiple pieces blew all over the passenger seat. And I was freaking out, and I had to get a stick and get it out of the truck before I could drive it the rest of the way. Oh man, it creeped me out so bad. It still fucks with me. Next thing is, I was backing the truck I was doing some work. I had the truck outside, and the shift linkage popped off. And I have the shift linkage here. And this is what was connected to the tranny side, and I kept putting in like E-clips on the outside, or circ clips. I had a whole bunch of different assortment of clips, and they just kept popping off. Don't know why. So then I came up with this invention, and drilled a little hole in this hose clamp, and I just squeezed this over the shift linkage and the rod on the transmission. This ball sat in there, and it kind of didn't move until it popped off. I don't know if it got loose or it stretched, or that hole just got bigger, but I knew it was going to be temporary, so I ran the shift linkage. Actually, I remember I showed you guys in the previous video, I went back and got this shift linkage. This actually came out of the same van that the tranny came from, and I ran it up, and then I just drilled a hole here in the firewall. There was already like a little pinhole there, so I just stepped it out with a step bit, and then I had this bracket here, and just drilled out the hole here, and then this is notched on the one side, and it just slipped in there, and then I took a screwdriver and pulled these little wings out, and it's in there pretty good. And then I just bolted through the bottom of this. Good thing I didn't weld it or cut that off like I was originally gonna. And it's pretty smooth. I'm actually way happier with this than I was the previous. So that's permanent now, and I'm happy about it. And I also tightened up the tranny pan on the bottom, and a couple bolts were loose, so maybe that's why it was leaking. Not sure yet. This looks like hell. This metal's so chintzy and thin, but I'm gonna tack a couple more spots here and there, and then like this, I really can't do nothing about that. And I'm just gonna seam seal all this in here and right here and on the inside, and that should be good. That'll keep out any moisture, hopefully. Filled here. Put those plates in. I put one on the other side too. So that's 3/16 plate, and it's actually way stronger, like totally 100% way stronger than it was. What else did I do? There's a bunch of things I did. Got this phone here. I actually ordered a phone off eBay, and I can't get it to download the Google Play Store so I can get the app for the Twerk Pro, and that's going to be my gauges. I actually had this one, which I should have just never wasted my time or money, and should have just ran this one to begin with. And I'm just going to get like a little cell phone holder, and that's going to be my gauge pack, like my tablet, but this is much smaller, clearly, and it'll work just as good. I'm going to put a cigarette lighter in, probably next to the ashtray, so I could run the wire up here and then have a suction cup mount off the windshield, or right here maybe, just to keep the phone there. Next up right now is I started scuffing the whole dashboard, getting smooth. I just did a test pass here just to see how it would go, and this is just spray clear coat, and it's much smoother. So I think I'm actually gonna This isn't right away. This will probably be in spring when it's warm and I could do it. But I'd like to scuff the whole truck up and clear coat the whole truck. I think that'd be pretty cool. But I'm gonna paint this trim around the windshield all the way around. This is coming out. I gotta reinforce these brackets so the mirror don't bounce. I'm gonna paint all this trim around the window again white, clear coat that, and at the same time I'm gonna clear coat this dashboard all the way across. And I'm just gonna tape out the cluster and everything like that. Bought a big wire wheel that's over there, but do the whole ceiling, get all this. You see how gross that shit is? It just flakes off of there. See, it just hit the seat. But do that, the whole backboard of the cab. It's like that. I'm gonna get that down pretty far, and then I'm gonna seam seal some more around the edges, just in case. And I'm gonna paint the whole inside black. And then even the tops of the doors and shit where it's just so it doesn't, just to preserve it somewhat. And then the floor, this whole sill up to the firewall, and then up to the back wall is all gonna get bed lined. Just in a can bed liner, just black, and just to give it a little textured finish for now. And that's the plan for the next week or two. I still haven't thrown the IAT sensor in the intake yet, so I'm gonna do that, wire it in, and stuff. I tested that phone out. The OBD2 port just reminded me, but I tested it out. The app works and everything like that. Yeah, just seam seal around this after I grind it down a little bit, but we're getting there. And this is the update for now.